What's up, Speak For Yourself listeners? It's your boy Shay Sharp, co-host of FS1's Undisputed. I've got great news. I'm a finalist for a Shorty Award. Go vote for your boy and make sure I bring this award home. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart for making Club Shay a success.
Welcome to Speak For Yourself. Marcellus Wiley up here. Emmanuel Acho from the other side of the block. What's up, homie? What's up, homie?
I grew up and went to private school, Marcellus. I know nothing about blots. I know nothing about gang-related activity. I know nothing about gang-related color schemes.
Wow, look at you over there. Okay, it ain't where you from, homie. It's where you at. You better know what's up now. Let's get to our top story. Stop banging up here. Brought to you by, speaking of banging, Popeye's Chicken Sandwich. You had that yet? I ain't had that yet. I got to get that. Former NFC East rivals Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz have huge expectations on their shoulders next season. Dak signed a 4-year, $160 million deal and will try to turn around the Cowboys team that finished 6-10. On the other side, Wentz was benched in his final 4 games as an Eagle, but he's getting a clean slate after a trade to the 11-win Colts. So, Acho, who's under more pressure next season? Which side, Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott?
So you already know what it is. It's Dak Prescott, and I love starting the show with a hot topic like this because we're about to have some fun. Marcellus Wiley, only one of these two men is the highest paid in his team's history. Marcellus Wiley, only one of these two men has signed the largest signing bonus in NFL history. Marcellus Wiley, only one of these two men has the most guaranteed money in NFL history. Marcellus Wiley, only one of these two men has made the most money in NFL history in year 1 of a contract. That man is Dak Prescott. Sir, Dak Prescott is under significantly more pressure because finally, for once in Dak Prescott's career, he will now be viewed through the lens he should be viewed through, which is excellence, which is elite, which is top flight. Sale. We've been looking at Dak, and Dak has an incredible story. He's overcome a lot familially. He's overcome a lot in his life. And so, one, he deserves a lot of the praise that we've just given him as an individual and as a person. But we've been looking at Dak through this, like, we pity you lens. Exactly.
I hear the violins.
Yes, because you're playing them. So
I'm not playing them. They're coming out your mouth.
Here's what I mean, Sal.
His story.
Here's what I mean is we view Dak through the lens of an overachiever. 4th-round pick, took Tony Romo's job, 4th-round pick, led the Cowboys to a 13-3 season out the gate. But now we're going to view Dak through the lens of you're supposed to be elite because we paying you elite money. And that is more pressure than Carson Wentz will have to face this season.
Okay.
Dak Prescott said, how you going to be the richest dude in NFL history in 1 year by this contract and not have the most amount of pressure? With a ton of money comes a ton of pressure. To whom much is given, much is required. Dak Prescott has been given the most, and the most is about to be required of him.
Oh, man, you know you're wrong. All them damn cliches you throwing at me. Those ain't even Wileyisms. They don't even qualify. You sound like a thespian up here. Respect to you over here acting. Okay, before I even get into my take, what you know who's under more pressure is Carson Wentz. Got to push back on something. You said only one of these guys is the highest paid in team's history. Ain't nobody told you Carson Wentz to get traded from the team that paid you the most in team's history. That's on you, big dog. But let me get to my point. Why is it Carson Wentz? Let me tell you why. Are you a golfer? You play the game? Tiger Woods didn't get you caught up? Really? Oh, okay. First sport I ever played was golf. 6 years young out there. My clubs were taller than me. I had the little bag, only had 3 clubs in it. You know, my short wedge, I had my little driver, and then I had my little putter. That's all I had. And I ain't used any of them well. But you know what? My dad is still an avid golfer to this day, likes to get out there every single day when he can. Carson Wentz is under the most pressure. You want to know why? Because he used his mulligan on the first swing of the day. Now, you know what a mulligan is? You know that, even if you don't play golf. We call it a breakfast ball. Like, soon as you get out there, you know, you with your boys, so you let me get a little steak, little eggs, breakfast, Yeah, make it a double vodka. So, you try to get the nerves off. You go to the first tee. It's just you and your boys. Whop, miss. And you look at your boys, they're like, go ahead. That's Carson Wentz right there. Mulligan. Second one, pop, right down the fairway. We love you, Carson. That's what he's hoping is going to happen in Indianapolis. But Dak Prescott hasn't used that breakfast ball, hasn't used that mulligan yet. Let's talk about Dak Prescott, who has never been sorry for an entire year. Never, never, ever, ever. Dak Prescott has never been last in every damn category like Carson Wentz has. Dak Prescott has never been benched. And more importantly, never been benched by a rookie. Never been benched by a rookie that wasn't even a first rounder. He was a second rounder. How you get benched by him? You got benched by a rookie that wasn't a first rounder, that was a second rounder, that's not even guaranteed to be the future franchise quarterback of the same team you got traded from. Oh, that's never happened to Dak Prescott because Dak Prescott's never been traded. Dak Prescott never stopped talking to the media because I don't want to hear your questions because they're hitting me where it hurts. Dak Prescott never told parts of the media, a certain city of the media, please remove yourself from the premises while I get my press conference going, because he wasn't scared. Dak Prescott has never told anyone on the team something that made them come back and say, you're a bad leader. Ooh, you got quiet there. Dak Prescott never got his coach fired. Oh, my God. Never got his coach fired because of his performance. On top of that, Dak Prescott's never been coddled, never been protected from upstairs. Dak Prescott has never been in a situation where he wasn't wanted. Dak Prescott is not on his ninth life like Carson Wentz. Yeah. Dak Prescott is still living, not worrying about what else. What happens if I fail in this moment? So until you can show me Dak Prescott's even close to where Carson Wentz is right now, or even Dak Prescott in failure this year is close to where Carson Wentz is, just more pressure on Carson Wentz.
I love what you said. You waxed
me do it again?
Poetically. No, because there were several fallacies in there. Jason Garrett did get fired, and it was because the Cowboys went 8-8.
No. See, I didn't say that. Dak Prescott's performance, 2019. Do you remember how good Dak was? Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't.
8-8.
Yeah, 4,900 yards, 30 touchdowns.
4,902 yards. If you want to be
okay, you do remember, right? Top 5 in the NFL.
You gotta know your enemies. I'll say it like this, Sal. All those things you said are great, and I think Dak Prescott, again, he has been great through the lens he's been viewed through. But now Dak Prescott is finally getting paid top flight money. That changes everything. This is what I want y'all at home to realize. Dak Prescott's 23 touchdowns his rookie year, phenomenal. Got him an MVP vote. But 23 touchdowns for a guy like Aaron Rodgers is a down year. But when you look at Dak, that's phenomenal because his ceiling's not as high. But for Aaron Rodgers, whose ceiling is high because his pay is high and his previous play is high, 23 touchdowns, you'd be like, oh, that's it. Now Dak Prescott is entering the upper echelon, not just by perception, but by pay as well. And the question now becomes, Dak, can you produce? Because all the cats who are making the money Dak Prescott is making, they've had more collective success than Dak Prescott. I'm going to give you some names.
You better.
Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson had what collective success?
Sir, just feast your eyes on the full screen.
What is this? What is this?
On the left, you'll see the highest paid in order by names. Mahomes, Prescott, Deshaun, Wilson, Rodgers, and Goff. On the right, you'll see their playoff appearances along with the percentage of time they make the playoffs. Sal, Patrick Mahomes, been in the league 3 years, made the playoffs all 3 years, including an MVP and a Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson, been in the league 4 years, made the playoffs 2 out of the 4 years. One of the years he got hurt, but still made the playoffs 2 out of 4 years. Russell Wilson, since Dak's been in the league, 4 out of 5 playoff appearances. Aaron Rodgers, 3 out of 5 playoff appearances. Even the lowly Jared Goff, 3 out of 5 playoff appearances, including a Super Bowl appearance. But Dak Prescott, who's now making more money than overall, but one of them has only been to the playoffs 2 out of 5 years. So, take time, Marcellus. Take time.
I need to have that. I need to have that. Watson, Wilson. Okay.
Digest it and understand this.
Rodgers.
For a fourth-round pick.
Okay.
It's cute, right? For a fourth-round pick, he made the playoffs.
That's cute.
2 out of 5 times. It's cute. But I just showed you all the players making the same amount of money as Dak. 2 of these 6, have been to the Super Bowl. One of the 6 has won the Super Bowl. The others are Aaron Rodgers. He's won an MVP. There are 2 left. Deshaun Watson, he's been to the playoffs 2 out of 4 times, to Dak's 2 out of 5 times. And Russell Wilson has been to the playoffs 4 out of 5 times. Everything Dak has accomplished has been phenomenal for a fourth-round pick. But the pressure's on because you ain't a fourth-round pick no more, big dog. You the second highest paid quarterback in the league. You the second highest paid player in the league. That money comes with pressure. Ain't no more fourth-round pick coddling. Now it's time to act. Yeah, like them Wallace is looking.
Okay, I love the fact that you used the word that I would have used for that full screen. Cute. As Kevin Samuels would say, grade yourself 1 to 10 and you can't use 7 because you're cute with that. You know what? Everybody try to safely say 7 so you can pump them up. No, you're 8. Or, I don't want to be mean, but you're a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liar up here on this set. Not me, you, brother. Oh, my God. Okay, everyone who saw that full screen and was moved was like, ooh, Marcellus, what you gonna say? This one I must say. Look at that full screen again. And then in your mind, imagine the reality of since paid, and then look at that full screen. Oh, because Patrick Mahomes, since paid, went to the Super Bowl and got mollywopped. But I'm not mad at that because that's still top 2 in the NFL. Dak Prescott, you just got paid, so we don't know what the hell you're going to do. Deshaun, since paid, 4 and 12, 4 and 12. So that's cute to put him up there, but it's be cuter if you just removed him. Russell Wilson, since getting paid when? The first time or the second time? I don't know. It doesn't matter which time. You know why? Take the full screen off. I'm talking to my dog. You know why? Because in Russell Wilson's last 9 playoff appearances, you would think, by your cute estimation, that Russell Wilson was a winner in the playoffs. Oh, but he's not. He's lost 6 of his last 9 playoff appearances, including a 40% pick-6 loss to a L.A. Rams team that didn't even want their quarterback. Let's keep going right here. Then you get to Aaron Rodgers. You got to put some respect on his name.
All day.
Even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl since getting paid like that, he's still Aaron Rodgers.
Of course.
But he's also 7 and 8 since winning that same Super Bowl. So money doesn't dictate playoff success necessarily because that's a losing record. And then we get to Jared Goff. Sometimes you shouldn't put ties next to it. I know he's got the same amount of money in Aaron Rodgers, but boy, Jared Goff, since getting paid, is now a Detroit Lion. Jared Goff, since getting paid, got benched. And it was a pseudo benching because they tried to play it off like, no, we ain't really bench him. We really don't want him to start again. Oh, okay, we're going to let him start. He's going to go out there, win a game, get smoked the next game, and then get sent out of here. What standards are you using? You're hopping around. You give me Patrick Mahomes, but then you skip Deshaun, you skip Russell Wilson, then you go to Aaron Rodgers, then you skip Jared Goff. All I'm saying is, well, if you want to be that critical, skip Dak Prescott.
I have a question then, sir. If all of these quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, if all of these quarterbacks who are sharing Dak Prescott's financial company have all gotten worse since getting paid,
I didn't say all.
Doesn't that now beg the question collectively?
Okay.
Doesn't that now beg the question that Dak Prescott will also get worse since getting paid? Patrick Mahomes, before he got paid, he won a Super Bowl. Yeah. Deshaun Watson, before he got paid, he went to the playoffs. Russell Wilson
got snatched.
Sure, but he was there. Russell Wilson, before he got paid, won a Super Bowl. Depends on what time you're talking about. He got paid, but he went to 2 Super Bowls. He won one. Aaron Rodgers, he won an MVP, so we kind of got to exclude him from this conversation. But you can put him there if you want, whatever. Jared Goff, before he got paid, he went to a Super Bowl. All these dudes, even before they got paid, were better than Dak. Now, since they've gotten paid, they've all fallen short compared to where they previously were. That just tells me that Dak about to do the same thing.
No,
so
it
now
doesn't.
If Dak was 2 and 5, because, bruh, you are the company you keep. Show me your 5 closest friends, and I can tell you who you are. These are Dak's 5 closest friends.
Oh,
when they get to the club, these are 5 cats in the section sitting with them. When they go to the bank, these are 5 cats standing in the line. When they get on a plane, these are the 5 cats in first class. Show me your 5 closest friends. I can tell you who you are. If you showing me Dak's 5 closest financial friends, and since they got paid, their teams have all gotten slightly worse, based upon production, Dak was already worse than all 5. So if he's going to follow the trend of his friends, he's going to be worse too. That, if you want to come back to pressure, is pressure. If you want to just talk about Dak, I'm just telling you the reality, big dog.
Dog, you didn't catch that? Your own full screen, you didn't even read through it. 2 of the 5 were actually good comps for Dak Prescott to say I could be elevated. But you didn't want to.
Which 2?
Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. I take that as success. I take that as living up to expectations. I say that's earning your money. Everybody can't win it every year, including Tom Brady. Tom Brady has won 7 Super Bowls. Every single player that ever played in the NFL. He's played for 21 seasons. 14, 2/3 of the time Tom Brady didn't even hoist up a Lombardi trophy. Don't give me this absurd expectation you got to win it all or you're a bust. I'm not going there. You shouldn't go there. Look, you talking about you are the company you keep. Here you go with these cliches. That means you're losing this argument. Wileyisms helps you win. Cliches don't. Let me tell you. Okay, so 5 friends right here, and you trying to tell me who Marcellus Wiley is.
Sir.
Tell me who Marcellus Wiley is if I tell you my friends are Manboy, Scully, Franklin, Acho, and Whitlock. Who is Marcellus Wiley? Thank you. You don't know, do you?
That's not possible.
It's not. No. Actually, that's kind of facts. I grew up with 3 of them. Worked with 2 of them. So the point is, man, stop talking about all these comps and realize who Dak Prescott is. You know why I know that you don't? You know that you don't believe what you're saying, or you know you're losing this argument. And I hate to do this to you because I'm not going to come at your integrity, but be real. We spent most of this segment talking about one guy trying to pull him down, Dak Prescott. You want to know why? Because he already up there.
It's not down.
What you mean?
Gravity, you can argue that it pulls you down or it just pulls you to reality.
Okay.
I'm not pulling Dak Prescott down. I'm showing you the reality of where Dak Prescott now falls and the pressure who he now falls amongst.
Why didn't you use Mahomes and Rodgers? Why not?
Because the argument can also be said that, hey, since Mahomes got paid, his team faltered. You could say that. I don't want to say that, but you could say he won a Super Bowl before he got paid. He didn't. I'm simply saying this. Mahomes is paid number 1 money. He's still a top 2 quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is paid top 5 money. He was the number 1 quarterback. Deshaun is paid number 3 money. His team has been to the playoffs 2 out of 4 years. Jared Goff is paid top 5 money. He went to a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott is paid number 2 money, big dog.
Okay.
So what he got to show you.
So you're being
the pressure is all mounted right here, right now, this season.
Yes.
It's make or break for Dak because people are finally going to treat him like an adult. Finally.
Wow. And that's a good adult to be. $160 million strong. You're being critical up here. I think you're being hypercritical up here. But we all know that criticism is the cost of praise.
Sorry.
That's why Dak Prescott's not in a pressure situation like Carson Wentz. Nobody's even praising you, Carson Wentz. You know what the next step for Carson Wentz is if he continues with this regression? Unemployment line. That's how it goes. Coming up at the top of the hour, I'm going to get to you, Carson Wentz, later. Russell Wilson is trying to get Antonio Brown in Seattle. Again. We'll tell you if the Seahawks should listen. But first, Cam Newton's new teammate thinks the Patriots' struggles were a 1-year thing. We'll tell you if we agree. That's next on Speak for Yourself.
The brand new Fox Sports app is a finalist for the 13th annual Shorty Awards. I love it. I do not download any apps. I simply do not. I'm an old man. I don't know how to use my phone. I don't like apps. I don't like clutter. But the Fox Sports app is so sleek. It has everything you would ever want. So I got it on my phone. You should have it too. You should also vote for us for the Shorty Awards. You can vote in the description below. Vote once a day. Vote for the Fox Sports app. We are a finalist. We need this. Do it, America.
Welcome back. Cam Newton's first year in New England did not go so well. He finished last in passing yards per game, and the Patriots missed the playoffs for the first time since 2008. But the new receiver Kendrick Bourne said he believes in Cam and added New England is, quote, going to win again. That was just a 1-year thing. Close quote. So Marcellus Wiley. Do you believe that Cam's struggles were just a 1-year thing?
Absolutely, I believe it. And obviously, I'm not the only one to believe it because we're doing a story on someone else who believes it. And I'm sure there could be more stories paid to this same cause. It's pretty obvious. Anyone who will argue any different will be classified as a dummy. But I'm sure there's no dummies here on this set, so no one would say the contrary. Look, man. Dog, we have lived this experience. Not only life have we lived, but we've also lived the NFL experience where you bet on the culture, not the players. Like, you're a gambling man. Think about the bet that you have to place when you're talking about, should I bet on these individuals or should I bet on the character, the culture that resets all these individuals? Why does everyone step up? Or at least in your mind, you think you have to step up, tighten up when you become a New England Patriot. You want to know why? Because of that culture. That culture painted on you makes you say, attention, because you realize what's at play. You understand the accountability that's necessary to become a New England Patriot. It's not the same. Talk about a lowly team, and I hate to single any team out, Jacksonville, any team out there, but when you think about a team that is lost its way in terms of culture, you don't think about the same level of accountability. So that's all we're talking about right here. The subscribed beliefs. What a culture is one, whatever's being rewarded in the same place, but 2, the subscribed beliefs. Everyone paying their subscription and thought words and actions to one epicenter that lands right here, and it's the Bill Belichick Patriot way. That's all we're talking about right here. So let me give it to you in this version. Let's go to track and field early. Do you know what the world record is, women's world record in the 100-meter is? Do you know what the time is?
10:46.
10:49. Flo-Jo. Yeah, 10:49, Flo-Jo. Okay. Same, I didn't use the men for a reason because the men run hurdles, but at a longer distance. What is the women's 100-meter hurdle world record? It's a be a guess. I had to Google it too, so don't feel bad.
I'm going to say 11:13.
I thought that too. 12:20. Acho. Now that's Kendra Harrison. Flo-Jo and Kendra Harrison. Go get it, girls. Why do they run 1.71 seconds slower?
Obstacles in the way.
Obstacles in the way. No matter what obstacles in your way, with flawless technique, with you actually being committed, without you even breaking stride, you're running 1.71 seconds slower at the best, at the peak level in comparison to the same race.
So where are you going?
What do you mean where I'm going? I'm going to the end, down the track. Run with me. So here's the thing. The hell? Racing these ladies. Here's the thing. Here's the obstacles faced by Cam Newton. The hurdles that you act like didn't slow him down, didn't slow them down. Most opt-outs because of COVID, 8 players. Didn't sign Cam until July, 4th of July style. Injuries to Edelman, Gilmore, Sony Michel, Burkhead, Damian Harris, etc. Lack of weapons, Jacoby and Myers, Demir Bird, stop playing. Lost 4 one-possession games, 4, deep in the opponent's territory late in that game. Those are the hurdles. That's why even at a world record pace, you're still going to run slower than you could without those same hurdles. This year, guess what Cam is running? Not the 100-meter hurdles, the 100-meter dash. He's going to be faster just because the terrain is different. Ooh, I nailed it.
That was a very well contrived argument.
That's the word? Okay, reset. I know you didn't mean contrived. What you talking about, Willis?
If Cam Newton's struggles last year were isolated to last year for Cam Newton, I might believe that Cam Newton's struggles were a one-year thing. Okay. But Marcellus Wiley, I hate to remind the viewers, because I love Cam Newton, that Cam Newton actually has the worst completion percentage, not since 2020, since 2016. The bottom 4 names on that list, Cam Newton, Blake Bortles, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Baker Mayfield. Cam Newton actually has the second worst passer rating since 2016, not 2020, 2016. The bottom 5 on that list, Blake Bortles, once again, Joe Flacco, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Mitch Trubisky, and Cam Newton finds himself at second to last. Since 2016, not 2020. Let's not have some sort of recency arrogance, as if Cam Newton has just been recently struggling. Cam Newton has been struggling for half a decade now, passing-wise. Had a great year in 2017. Let's make no mistake about it. Had a great year in 2017. But the whole body of work over the last 5 years have been a struggle. But let me tell you what I don't like and what we unfortunately have given credence to.
Don't like? What?
My sophomore year in college, I go to the national championship game at the University of Texas. We play here in Pasadena, the Rose Bowl against Alabama. It was the first of Alabama's run of championships. We lose.
Y'all lost, huh?
Quarterback Colt McCoy got hurt. I won't go down that line.
Excuses.
My junior year, we go 5-7. Oh, my God. How do we go from national championships to 5-7? So now my senior year comes around. I'm the senior, the big man on campus. But we have freshmen who enroll, never been at Texas before, and these freshmen are like, yeah, I'm going to get us back. We're going to get back to the national championship. That last year was just a struggle. You know what I'm thinking as a senior who's been here? How you know? You just got here. So how you know if last year's 5-7 season was a one-year thing? You don't know anything about what it takes to be great. I've been to the mountaintop of the national championship. I've been to the lows of 5-7. So I know what it takes. But who are you to speak on these matters? That's how I feel about Kendrick Bourne right now. How you know if it was a one-year thing? You weren't in the locker room. How you know if it was a one-year thing? You weren't in a receiving corps. You don't know what Cam Newton was doing day in and day out. So we shouldn't even really give credence to the fact that Kendrick Bourne is saying this because, Sal, how does he know what it takes to get the Patriots to where the Patriots need to be? Where I'm going to end this lap is by ending this discussion and dropping the hammer on you, even though I really do care for you as a human being. All of last year's offseason turmoil, the shortened COVID season, all of those things, it actually benefited offenses. Offenses scored more points last year than they ever have in NFL history. However, the New England Patriots scored less points than they have in the last 2 decades. So while offenses had a resurgence like we've never seen in the history of the NFL, the New England Patriots offense led by Cam Newton went back 2 whole decades. Marcellus Wiley, you cannot make that make sense, sir, because I couldn't, and I tried.
Great point. Great point. I can't make it make sense. You know I'm going to try. I'm going to die trying. Let me say that. First thing I took from you is you're telling me that Cam is stuck being a hurdler. You just telling me that. That's all I took from that. Cam, you ain't going to never run fast. You ain't going to never go out there and have no terrain and adversity on that terrain. You're lying. I want to remind you who Cam Newton is. And let's just start in recent history because you want to keep giving me 2020 in totality, 21 total touchdowns and, 10 interceptions? Okay, that's great. That's not horrible, but I get it. Even though Cam Newton had the highest percentage of touchdowns for his team than any other player in the NFL. Oh, so you mean if you aggregate all of our touchdowns, I had the highest percentage of them of everybody you could talk about, including Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, the MVP, whoever you want to name? Yes, you, Cam Newton. You were the biggest part for your team's success, or if you want to call it lack of success, so be it. Call it the hurdles. But you forget week 8 on. When Cam Newton, it started to fire. Beep, 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 beep. I told you 21 total touchdowns, but from week 8, he had 14 total touchdowns and only 3 picks. You think Bill Belichick didn't notice that, maybe the light did flick on in Cam Newton's mind? You give me an example where you talk about you've been to the mountaintop. You lied to yourself. You didn't go to the mountaintop. You were close to the mountaintop. Y'all lost. The mountaintop is winning it all. If someone would have transferred or a freshman would have walked in with Cam Newton's mindset, maybe y'all would have won it all your senior year instead of you just limping into the combine talking about your quad hurt and then you're not going to get drafted as high as you should have. See what happens to you when you don't have the Cam mentality? This is Cam's mentality. Do you know Cam Newton has had 3 winning seasons in his career? Okay.
Is that good?
No, that's not good, but I'm going to tell you what's good about it. All 3 of Cam's winning seasons immediately followed a year where he had a losing record. You tried to say I couldn't make sense of that. So you keep telling me how Cam's a loser. He's always a loser. He's a perennial hurdler. Okay, that's cute. But what does he always do in response to losing? Hey!
Not always.
No, I'm going to say always because I got to go with hyperbole. You caught that. All 3 of Cam's winning seasons, once again, come after a losing season. Was last year a winning season or a losing season? Losing season. Oh, the numbers suggest that Cam Newton's going to rebound. I told you I could make it make sense, dog. I'm a presser champion over here.
You like those dudes on the street that try to do magic tricks?
Yeah.
And all they doing is swindling.
Yeah.
So Cam hasn't had a winning season since 2017, big dog.
Man, hold on. He was hurt for a year and a half. Don't do that. Don't play with the calendar like that.
6-8,
Don't play with the
2018.
calendar like that. Don't do that.
Then he was hurt 2019, 7-9 in 2020. Here's all we got to understand. Cam Newton is not the same Cam Newton we wanted him to be. Okay. 3 winning seasons in 9 seasons, Sal. 3 and 9. Cam's highs are incredibly high, but his lows are incredibly low. Cam Newton is the antithesis of Dak Prescott.
Oh, wow.
To bring it all full circle. Dak Prescott, consistently good. His highs will never touch or have never touched Cam Newton's highs, and his lows will probably never touch Cam Newton's lows. Dak Prescott is just here. Meanwhile, Cam Newton jumps up and goes down. He jumps up and he goes down. Right now, though, Cam Newton is just down. He's below the mean. He's below the median. Cam Newton is not the same Cam Newton who we used to see. He used to give us highs and give us lows. Now all we're seeing is lows, Sal. There's no way it was a 1-year thing because you would have to be banking on Kendrick Bourne. Banking on Hunter Henry, banking on Jonnu Smith, banking on Nelson Aguilar. Who are you banking on to say, okay, Cam Newton, you gonna come back, and this is why? Randy Moss isn't joining the Patriots. Terrell Owens isn't joining the Patriots. Jerry Rice in his prime ain't joining the Patriots. Cam Newton's 8 passing touchdowns last year, they cannot completely quadruple and change this from being a 1-year thing to the Patriots miraculously being great.
Oh, stop that. Josh Allen doubled his every single year he's been in the league, and Cam Newton can, and he's a former MVP. You trying to say it's not in his DNA, Kendrick Lamar, anymore? Boy, stop. Tell me this. Is Tom Brady accurate with the football? Hell yeah. Then why in the hell does Cam Newton, at his low, have a higher completion percentage than Tom Brady last year? That was a Super Bowl winning MVP year at that. Does Russell Wilson know how to throw the ball down the field accurately? Hell yeah. So then why does Cam Newton have a higher completion percentage and passer rating on downfield throws 20 yards or more than the same Russell Wilson? Did Michael Vick know how to run the football? Hell yeah. So then why is Cam Newton on his lowest of levels? You talking about how bad he is, have more rushing touchdowns than Michael Vick ever had in one season. If that is low, Acho, I don't know if you know what high is. Coming up, will LeBron's injury end his MVP chances? Yeah. We'll answer that next. Don't speak for yourself. Get out of here. Let's head to the NBA. LeBron James could miss up to a month after suffering a high ankle sprain Saturday. The King could potentially be back for the Lakers stretch run, but his MVP odds have already been affected. Jokic has the best MVP odds now, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook, since the King went down. Got to bring in Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick the Bucher, but Acho, does LeBron's injury end his MVP chances?
Fellas, not at all. Let's be real. Who's in the conversation? Because that's what dictates LeBron's chances. James Harden, he's currently in the conversation. James Harden, he missed a portion of the season, too. Well, I mean, maybe not literally, but figuratively, because he was in Houston, but he wasn't in Houston. Who else do we have in this conversation? Giannis is in the conversation, but if LeBron James couldn't win a regular season MVP 3 years in a row because voters kind of got fatigued, y'all really think Giannis is about to win an MVP 3 years in a row? Last time we saw somebody win an MVP 3 years in a row, we got to go back to the 80s with Bird. So now you talk about Embiid. He's in the conversation, but if I'm not mistaken, Joel Embiid is hurt too. He's supposed to be out for 3 weeks. LeBron's supposed to be out for 4 weeks. So then you really land on the Joker, Nikola Jokic. That's where you end up. And I look at it like this. If LeBron James is out and the Lakers fall in the standings from 3 to 6 or 7, right behind the Nuggets, then LeBron James comes back with about 10 to 12 games left, leaves the Lakers on a run. They go 9-1 over that 10-game stretch, go 11-1 over that 12-game stretch. You don't think that's not going to make more of a heroic story for LeBron, the King James? His chances are not nearly up because the primary competition, they have all missed portions of the season, either literally or figuratively. And then lastly, LeBron James will actually could potentially have a better story. If he leaves, the Lakers plummet. He shows up, the Lakers again ascend. That will just prove that he is the MVP we all know he truly is.
Have you guys ever been in a conversation where you agree with someone and then they start telling you why they believe what they believe and you're kind of like, well, yeah, but I don't believe all that. That's kind of where I find myself right now with Acho, because no, his chances have not ended. And yes, the absence might actually bolster his opportunity. But it almost sounds like Acho is making a case why LeBron is still going to win the MVP, and I wouldn't go that hard in that direction. A little housekeeping to start with. Number one, there is no minimum number of games or percentage of games that a player has to play in a season in order to win MVP. That's never been established for voters. So it doesn't really matter from a technical standpoint how many games he ends up playing. Now, that said, if he comes back on the current timeline, which is he's back by April 26th, end of April, he has the opportunity to play 11 more games. If he did that, he would play a total of 52 out of 72. That's 72% of the season. Bill Walton back in 77, 78 actually only played 58 of 82. That's 70%, and he won MVP. So it is possible. And if by some chance the Lakers completely collapse, fall down, and then LeBron comes back and they roar back up the standings in those last 11 games, I could certainly see it happening. I would say that he's on the outside looking in, and that even that wouldn't guarantee him winning, because I'm not going to just vote on a guy because of what happens in his absence. That's not going to carry more weight than what guys do with their presence. And the fact of the matter is there are 2 months left in the season. So, Acho, yes, it is a muddled picture, but with 2 months left, Harden could take the Nets to the best record. Giannis could take the Bucks to the best record. Damian Lillard could take the Portland Trailblazers to the best. Kawhi Leonard could take the Clippers to the best record, and this picture would look much different by the time we see LeBron James play again.
Man, y'all over here seriously waxing poetically about this and wrong as hell. It's a wrap. Y'all know it's over. That's why you guys agree and disagree on the same thing. Like, Slick Rick, I saw you over there. You're a runner, so you're out there running. I'm going to get there. And here go Acho with his old bougie in. He in an Uber. What's the good one? XL? Black? So here go Acho, just limousine. And y'all get to the same place different ways. But y'all both at the wrong destination. Let me tell you why it's a wrap. One, LeBron James, I'm not trying to hear this story argument. Golly, this is a performance argument. I understand when Acho goes there and says his story, but Slick, you vote on this. I hope you don't get caught up in the story of this all, because this story this year of LeBron James is not even as compelling as it was last year with LeBron James, and he didn't win the MVP last year. Here's my line on this. You can't do the same thing fewer times and be promoted or rewarded. I repeat, you can't do the same thing and then all of a sudden expect a promotion, and you did the same thing fewer times than you did last year. LeBron James has already been eliminated, Slick. You got to know your own behavior. I know that you have said that the voters don't care about a minimum number of games played. That's what y'all say, but that's not how y'all act. Let me give it to you like this. None of the last 10 MVPs missed more than 10 games in their MVP season. LeBron James is on pace to missing more than that. Okay, so let's go back. When's the last time somebody missed more than 10 games and won the MVP? 2000 and 2001. Allen Iverson. Guess how many games he missed? 11. One more. And that wasn't in a COVID season, a shortened season like this year right now. So every game you miss has even more impact, it should, on the voters' mindset in terms of performance. So when y'all want to talk about who else is out there, your argument is, well, who's going to beat him? I don't give a damn who's going to beat him. He eliminates himself because, one, he's not even better than last year's version. And two, he's doing last year's version less times this year than he did last year. Let me remind you of the numbers. This year, he's 25-8-8. Last year, 25-8-10. You mean he's not even better? Yeah, field goal percentage, three-point percentage, worse in assists. He's not even better than last year. He's going to do it fewer times, and y'all going to try and promote and reward him and give him the MVP? Make that make sense, homeboy.
Acho, I think you could agree with me on this. No one other than Marcellus brings up more often that last year was a bubble and 3 months off and how different it was and how unique it was. Okay, so this season is unique as well. We didn't have a normal offseason. We didn't have a normal training camp. We're not playing 82 games. And the question is not, is LeBron James going to win MVP? It's, has LeBron James' opportunity or possibility of him winning, has that ended? And I can't say definitively that it has ended. Now, Marcellus, don't confuse my thinking with what I think the voters collectively might do. LeBron James is not at the top of my ballot.
Okay.
I am not expecting him to be at the top of my ballot. But I would not be a very good voter if I said right here today, because he's going to miss the next month, there is no chance that he could win MVP. I don't know what's going to happen through the remainder of this season and who else is going to do what. And I gave you the statistics on Bill Walton winning MVP because that's the baseline. So there is a path in which LeBron still ultimately could win it. But Acho's case about the narrative and coming back and this being a unique season, I can see a way in which the voters collectively would select him as MVP, and he would win even if he's not at the top of my personal ballot. The last thing I got to say, though, about this, and this is what makes me feel kind of funny, is LeBron James goes down with I hate to be a conspiracy theorist here, but I'm going to go there. LeBron James goes down with a high ankle sprain. They call timeout. He goes to the bench. He comes back in the game, hits a three. They call another timeout so he can leave. I've never seen a guy with a high ankle sprain ever in a game. Like, why would he possibly come back again unless he's not quite as hurt as we thought he was? And they're recreating, he and AD are recreating the same thing they had last year. It may not be 3 months, but you know what? We can get a month off together, and then we can come rolling in with 11 games. That kind of like the pre-playoff bubble run. And then I'm not saying that's what's going on, but it kind of strikes me a little weird that he came back in that game. And I look at the dynamics, and I'm thinking, are they setting us up for something here?
Here's the thing, Slick. One, I'm not at all mad at that conspiracy. I like it. That'll give me some. That conspiracy gonna keep a lot of hoop heads up at night. Like, I wonder what is going on. Yeah. Here's what I do know. This could play in LeBron James' favor for a plethora of reasons. I said a few yesterday. LeBron James, they now come back. If you play the NBA playoffs in some sort of bubble format, it doesn't matter if the Lakers are a 3 seed or a 6 seed. There is no home court advantage. LeBron James gets the rest that he desperately needs. But also, it comes down to narratives along with numbers. If we think this injury is going to exclude LeBron James from potentially winning an MVP, then James Harden, his time in Houston at the beginning of the season, could exclude him. Giannis, the fact that he's already won it 2 years in a row and we haven't seen someone win it 3 years in a row since Bird, could exclude him. Embiid being hurt, that could exclude him. Let Luka try to climb his name into the MVP race. The fact that the Mavericks are an 8 seed, that could exclude him. There are so many different qualifications and characteristics and traits and attributes throughout the course of a season that can exclude an individual, so LeBron James is not yet excluded. Without the Lakers, without LeBron, we see the Lakers struggle. You never know what you have until it's gone. LeBron James is going to come back and remind everybody that he at least should be in the conversation, like Slick said, for winning the MVP.
Man, I never knew I was working with two guys who had a value system that is just so flawed. And especially you, Slick. You're a voter, and you're in the room with all the other voters. Speak some sense to them people out there. Stop letting them get caught up in a compelling story that's actually less compelling than it was even last year. I loved your conspiracy theory, but I said this yesterday. Maybe Slick ain't paying attention to this show when he was on that damn segment, and maybe you ain't paying attention to this voting as well, Slick Rick. But LeBron came back for that streak, 1,036 games, a 10-plus points, an NBA streak. He wanted to keep going. And I also remind you that Kobe Bryant went to the free throw line and shot those free throws with that Achilles. So you can be hurt and still come back, and you still really are hurt. I got to point at Acho right now, because that's my dog. And, you know, we talk a lot on this show. We actually
you're done with me?
Yeah, I'm done with you, homeboy. Because we text a lot. You and Slick, every day we're going to text it out. But Acho, you know I don't talk to you when I leave this show, because you single when you're in these streets. I don't know. But the point is, we only talk to each other through the show. So let's talk through the show. We do 9 segments a day, don't we, Acho? Yes, sir. And you make X amount of dollars. Now, Acho, your brother said it ain't that much, but I don't believe your brother. That's just brothers fighting over there. But you make X amount of dollars, correct?
Yes, sir.
Compared to me, it's like X minus. But, you know, it's still X. Here's the thing. You negotiate a contract, and in that negotiation, you say, oh, yeah, guess what? I'm only going to do 6 segments, but I want X plus dollars. They're going to look at you and say, really? Why? Because your value system is flawed right there, Acho. You're going to have to bring me something else to show me why Acho thinks he's going to do something fewer times but get more value out of it. That's what LeBron is basically asking the NBA voters to do, like Slick Rick. Hey, I'm going to do just the same in terms of performance, but I'm going to do it fewer times and still want the same amount of love. As a matter of fact, I actually want a promotion. That ain't how it works in the real world. Drop the mic. Is the third attempt a charm for Russell Wilson to pair up with Antonio Brown? Y'all speechless. We'll tell you if the Seahawks should listen to their quarterback next on Speak for Yourself. Okay.
I should make X divided by.
X divided by.
You're watching Speak for Yourself. I'm Emmanuel Acho. That's Marcellus Wiley. Let's head to Seattle.
Oh, I'm supposed to be reading this?
Yeah, you are.
Well, then won't you say that then? See, we ain't that close. Well, Russell Wilson said he wanted a bigger role in personnel decisions. I thought he had some sound. Now we get to see if he'll get his wish. You don't read it like me. I say it with my chest. Reports say Russ is lobbying the Seahawks to sign Super Bowl champion Antonio Brown. Russ expressed interest in adding AB the previous 2 off seasons, and they even worked out together. But Seattle signed Josh Gordon instead. So Acho. Look how you looking at me. Should the Seahawks listen to Russell Wilson Wilson about AB?
Now, look, last block, this man came up on national television and said that I do less segments, therefore I should get X salary minus dollars. And here I am 5 minutes later picking up your slack.
That's right. That was the universe trying to tell me, humble yourself, Marcellus, humble yourself. I did. I'm sorry.
The Seahawks should listen to Russell Wilson in regards to getting AB. And it's very simple. Remember, Sel, we've talked about this for a month now. Russell Wilson is watching the Super Bowl, and who's he looking at? He was looking at Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, and he's festering. His blood is boiling inside because he's like, that should be me. I should be down there. But why am I not down there? Because Tom Brady has taken my spot as a representative of the NFC. Who was on Tom Brady's team? Who scored one of the 4 touchdowns for the Buccaneers that day? A man by the name of Antonio Brown. In fact, who scored all of the 4 touchdowns for the Buccaneers that day? Off-season or early in-season acquisitions. Gronkowski, AB, and Fournette. So Russell Wilson is like, hey, Seahawks, I tried to tell y'all last offseason. First off, I was taking a bullet for y'all because I was putting my reputation out there for AB when AB was even closer to his drama. I tried to tell y'all to sign him last season. Y'all didn't. And so not only did we not get better, we allowed the enemy to get better. So not only are we suffering, but then we're promoting another team to be even better. The Seahawks should listen to Russell Wilson in regards to AB because, number one, now the Buccaneers would get worse. And if your opponents are getting worse, then you are just getting better simply by their retraction or by their deduction. But number two, not only would your opponents be getting worse, you, the Seattle Seahawks, would be getting better. So I'll end up by saying this. I hate when people in power don't listen to their subordinates simply because they are their subordinates.
Yes.
Pete Carroll, John Snyder, general manager, head coach, they're in power. But you know, Russell Wilson, you ain't going to tell us who to sign. Just because Russell Wilson is your subordinate does not mean he cannot know better than you. That's a message for y'all at home who got any employees. That's a message for us right now in the Seahawks. Russell Wilson might not be the head coach or the GM, but he can still know a quality personnel decision. Antonio Brown, outside of any sort of off-the-field issues from years past, has proven to be a quality personnel decision.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one right now. Yes, listen to Russell Wilson about signing AB because AB is still a future Hall of Famer with some gas in that tank. So in life, we've all heard the cliche of the message, not the messenger, right? So you can't let the messenger cloud what the message is. And it's one thing that I think is an attribute of mine that I don't think I share with a ton of people because all my closest friends, they actually listen to the message based on who the messenger is. I give you an example. You know, you walking in front of the liquor store and the dude's in front of the liquor store, they call him unhoused or homeless or a bum, whatever you want to call him. He's down on his luck. But every now and then, that dude drops a jewel, a gem. I'm like, thank you. And I take it from him. I don't give a damn who the messenger is in terms of status or whatever, like you said, subordinate. I'm taking what he's trying to say in message. Russell Wilson is an elite quarterback. Not always right, sometimes in his feelings. But on this one message, he's absolutely correct. So I look at good decisions. I look at good messages, like they don't need an address. They don't have to have a personal name on it. It's just no matter where it comes from, respect it. AB's already showed he has a lot left in his tank. You better respect it and help the team out. Got to bring in Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. So, Greg, should the Seahawks listen to Russell Wilson about AB?
Absolutely. You both hit the nail on the head. When you think about what they declined, what they rejected, with the Chicago Bears offer and what they put on the table, 3 first-round picks, 2021 third-round pick, and 2 starters, you're basically telling Russell Wilson, we're all in on you, and we're going to listen, at least for this year. And I think that includes listening to what he has to say about Antonio Brown. Think about what he's asking for. He's not asking for just things that are going to make him better and only him better. He's trying to be better and better equipped so that this team can make a push to get back to where they were years before. So it's when you decline that type of a robust offer, you're basically telling your quarterback, or hopefully you're telling your quarterback and sending the message that, you know what, okay, we're going to at least listen to your input. It does not, however, mean you have to actually do everything that Russ wants to get done. But you owe it to him because you know you have the best interest of the team at heart and on top of mind, and so does Russell Wilson. And so with AB, you guys both threw it out there. He adds value. He adds a weapon, something that Russell Wilson definitely needs. And then he was talking about protection and being able to be more in charge of the offense. These aren't outlandish requests. Antonio Brown would add value. They should consider it for sure.
Here's the other question, G, that the Seahawks need to ask themselves. How much are we willing to sacrifice or pay to keep Russell Wilson happy? Like, AB is not going to be an expensive free agent signing. We know that because the market isn't robust for Antonio Brown right now, or we wouldn't be talking about him as a free agent. So if you're the Seahawks, you could get AB for what? Maybe $5 million on a one-year deal, maybe $6.5. If that's what it will cost you not only to bolster your offensive firepower, you got Tyler Lockett, you got DK Metcalf, now you got a veteran presence in Antonio Brown. But if that's all it'll cost you to keep your superstar, megastar quarterback happy, that's the decision you make. And if you don't even want to worry about his happiness, then you could also start to quantify public perception. Right now, Russell Wilson is complaining. He ain't got enough help. Y'all ain't done enough for him. Well, if you add a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer in Antonio Brown, at least by talent level alone, to a roster that already has DK Metcalf, already has Tyler Lockett, plus you made an offseason O-line acquisition, you might try to find something in the draft with a limited number of picks, then you are in good hands, at least from public perception, and nobody else is going to scrutinize you, Pete Carroll or John Snyder. It's a no-brainer. You got to listen to Russ in this situation.
You know what's interesting about this? When quarterbacks are younger, general managers and head coaches, they want to make sure that they put the best personnel around the quarterback, even when he is elite. We saw it with Aaron Rodgers. We saw it with Russell Wilson. We see it with Patrick Mahomes. And then once these quarterbacks start to get of age, it's almost like the head coach, the general manager, those who are in charge of personnel, they're so stuck in the past. What Russell Wilson is saying is, I do need help. I'm getting older. I need other pieces. It's not just solely about him. Think about what Tom Brady has been able to do. This is the landscape of where the league is going. I truly believe that quarterbacks are going to start having more input, and that they should have more input, because it's not just solely about them, but they are a huge, huge piece to the puzzle.
All right. Let's calm down now. As they say, hold your horses. Russell Wilson's right about some things, but he ain't right about everything, okay? When to listen to Russell Wilson? When he wanted to sign Chris Carson like you guys did. When you shouldn't listen to Russell Wilson? When he wants to cook. Because, ain't no Super Bowls being won in Seattle, or even playoff games being won in Seattle when Russell Wilson wants to cook. I remind you guys, they've lost 6 of their last 9 playoff games. When to listen to Russell Wilson? When he wants AB. Because I'm going to tell you who AB is. In the last 7 games, a lot of people didn't peep this. You know who was tied for first in touchdowns, receptions? Yep, AB with 6 of them. AB also had 28 catches for 347 yards and 163 yards at the catch in the last 7 games. AB started to look like the 2018 version of himself. But when you don't listen to Russell Wilson, when he start crying and whining about his offensive line, last year was just the 3rd time in Russ's 9 seasons that Pro Football Focus ranked the Seattle Seahawks pass blocking in the top 20. And I told you guys, when they won the Super Bowl and when they appeared in the Super Bowl and lost the Super Bowl, highest and second highest pressure percentage. Last year was just 7th. So Russell Wilson, you're right on some things, this thing, but bruh, chill. You ain't right on everything. Coming up, Dak got paid. I mean, paid. And Carson Wentz got traded. We'll tell you which quarterback is under more pressure next on Speak for Yourself.
Let's get to 2 of the biggest names from the 2016 draft class. That is Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz. Now, Dak signed a massive 4-year deal this offseason after the Cowboys finished 3rd in the NFC East. His former division rival, Carson Wentz, was benched in his final 4 games as an Eagle, but Wentz is getting a fresh start, a clean slate, if you will, after being traded to the Colts. That's G, me and Sel, we already went a couple rounds back and forth on this one, so we got to bring Greg Jennings in, NFL analyst. We want his take, his opinion. Speak for yourself, Greg. Who is under more pressure next season, Carson Wentz or Dak Prescott?
Carson Wentz, without hesitation. It's 100% Carson Wentz. And this is about real expectation versus the potential. And real expectation lives in Indianapolis with the Colts. What they were able to do, this was a playoff team. This is a team that has expectations of playoff and getting deeper in potential Super Bowl contending expectations. The Dallas Cowboys, they have a potential to win that NFC East division if all things fall into their favor. We don't really expect for them to do a whole lot. The expectation, however, for the Colts are that, oh, we got a really good team. All we need is a quarterback that has all this potential in Carson Wentz. Now, what they decided to trade for was a guy who was in relations with their head coach, who also they understand that they can relate on a numerous amount of levels and possibly get him to resurface what we have seen at the highest height of Carson Wentz's football career. That's the expectation. That's the real reality of the Indianapolis Colts. And so when you look at that, you not only have the fan base looking at what are you going to do, Carson Wentz? Are you going to bring us back to where we want to be? Or you got also the head coaches relying on you because I bet on you. I traded for you. I brought you in here. And then you have players in that locker room that will never say it, but they're going to look at you like, okay, we got you in here. Now we know what we heard, but we giving you a clean slate. Prove them wrong and make us out to be believers and truth tellers versus liars and fools. So Carson Wentz is under a lot of pressure, not only just from wins and losses and real expectation, but even from the players in that locker room.
Greg, you gave as much energy and effort to that take as you did your wardrobe choice today.
Damn.
Greg. And I'm disappointed in both. I'm going to say it like this. Y'all know this. Y'all know me by now. Your boy got dual citizenship, Nigerian and American. Parents born in Nigeria, I'm born in America.
I didn't know that.
That's because you don't call me after we get off the show. Don't talk.
You ain't never lied.
But Greg knew this because Greg cares about his boy.
Okay.
And what I've learned about this is whenever the term America is involved in a phrase, there are high expectations.
Ooh.
America, you leave a foreign country, you come to America, you have an expectation that there will be running light, there will be water, there will be electricity, there will be a plethora of excess. When you watch superhero movies, when Captain America steps on the scene, there's an expectation that he will save the day. You all will be delivered from your evil. Now, if we know that whenever America is entered into a phrase or a figure of speech, that there are high expectations, then Greg Jennings, when talking about the Cowboys and America's team, you can't tell me that they don't have expectations. Greg, they ain't been to the Super Bowl in 25 years. They have a plethora of expectations. Their head coach, Mike McCarthy, last year said, if you're not in this to win a Super Bowl, you in the wrong thing. He has set an expectation. But furthermore, highest paid quarterback at the time he got paid. Highest paid running back in Zeke at the time he got paid. Highest paid receiver, Amari Cooper, at the time he got paid. Highest paid defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence, at the time he got paid. You had four of the highest paid players at their position at the time they got paid, and you gonna tell me that's not pressure? You gonna tell me that's not expectations? The Cowboys have more pressure annually than any other team in football. Dak Prescott is a conduit for that team's success. Dak Prescott is the highest paid player this year. He has all of the pressure and then some going into this season.
That's my co-host.
How many players did you just mention outside of Dak Prescott?
3 others, sir.
A bunch. You mentioned a bunch. And Dak Prescott is one of the reasons why they were not able to achieve anything close to status quo last season because of his injury. When we look at Carson Wentz, we see a team that was able to do something with a 17-plus year veteran quarterback that we all thought Phillip Rivers ain't got nothing left, but he was able to get that team to the playoffs and effectively with what he had in his tank. So when you talk about the Dallas Cowboys, yes, there are a number of guys that are on that team that have to live up to the expectations. But when we talk about these two quarterbacks and the pressure that they're under, I don't care if it's America's team. Man, America ain't been about nothing lately, so you can miss me with all of that.
Pressure right here. Let me say, under pressure. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding. Dak just got to be Dak. Carson Wentz, you got to be better than Carson Wentz. Ooh. Tell me which one is pressure. Under pressure. Ding, 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 ding. And Acho, I don't know where the hell you from in Nigeria, but if high expectations is water and electricity,
bro,
take me with you next time, bro. I need that life lesson, bro. I am out of touch. Good. I mean, I understand you. Look, high expectations? I digress right there. Look, Greg is nailing it right here. I understand that when you wear the star on your helmet, like I did for 1 year, and when you're on America's team, that there's more light, more intensity, more focus, more criticism. You're under the microscope. All facts. But pressure is different because all of those things are trying to pierce the armor of who you are in terms of a person and a performer. All of that's coming from the outside in. Carson Wentz is in a different position than that, y'all. He's not getting all of that coming from the out. Oh, yes, he is. But more importantly, it's coming from the inside out because every time he stands in front of the mirror, let's go back to 2017. Carson Wentz in this hotel room before the game. He stood in front of the mirror. He starts smiling. He's looking at that dude like, oh, we're going to win the MVP this year. Look at us, 11-2. We are ball. And then the doubt birds start to circle every single time he's been in that mirror ever since. And especially last year when you're ranked last in so many categories. You got snatched by a second-round rookie that they drafted last year. And you're a $128 million man. So it's one thing to talk about Dak Prescott wearing that helmet, playing for America's team, and the pressure that comes from the outside. But Dak's not feeling that on the inside. He's already lived up to that pressure and expectation. That's why he got paid. Dak was being Dak, and he got paid. Carson Wentz, being Carson Wentz, got your butt traded. And now you got to be more than that version of Carson Wentz. The problem is, looking in the mirror, I don't know if he sees that guy anymore.
Carson Wentz, though, and here, let me make something clear. They're both under pressure, right? I'm not saying that Carson Wentz is not under pressure.
Okay.
I'm not immune to the fact that Carson Wentz, he might be playing for his NFL starting career. You got one more bad year, Carson Wentz, you're probably going to be relegated to being a backup like Mitch Trubisky. So Carson Wentz is under that pressure. But Carson Wentz is already scraping the bottom of the barrel. Dak Prescott is sitting right there floating at the top. But now there's a much greater distance to travel from the top where Dak Prescott is all the way down to the bottom of the barrel where Carson Wentz is currently situated. Carson can only go from where everybody perceives him to be, which is at the bottom, to, hey, now you're a backup. Dak Prescott, you can go from being the second highest paid, you should be a top 5 quarterback, to, wait a second, Dak, who are you? But, Greg, I want to personalize something if I may talk to Greg Jennings. Because as I look at it, Greg, in 2013, you signed a huge deal to go to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, sir, would you say that there was not much pressure or there was substantial pressure after you experienced several 1,000-yard seasons plus the Super Bowl in Green Bay? You now just got paid. Especially for that time, paid. Now you have to deliver because now you're going to Minnesota to be the guy. Talk about that.
Yeah, there was definitely pressure, but there was a belief, like what Marcellus was talking about. When I looked in the mirror, I knew I still had it. I knew I was going to live up to what I needed to get done. But it was the pieces around that were like, okay, is it going to be enough? And I'm not one to ever just project and point fingers. But when you look at Dak Prescott, he has a ton of pieces around him. And yes, he's floating at the top. And yes, he's the highest paid quarterback outside of Patrick Mahomes. And he's made all these new NFL records when it comes to finances. But Carson Wentz, he is in a situation where this team has had success. And this team is looking to build on that success.
Greg, don't you forget about your past.
Because we got you, we can build up more of that success.
Gregory, look now, G. Because here's the thing. America, you got to put people in the hot seat and make them relive their own situations so the truth can really come out.
Say it, Otto.
Because, G, your first 2 years in Minnesota were comparable to your first 2 years in Green Bay. However, if you look up the articles, and you lived it, so I'm not going to bring out the articles, you got much more heavily criticized in your first 2 years in Minnesota
New show alert.
than you ever did in your first 2 years in Green Bay. Not because you were a worse performer, but because your performance compared to your pay was drastically different. Your first 2 years in Green Bay, you was making the money I'm making to do this show. Your first 2 years in Minnesota, you was making Marcellus Wiley money. That's my point is your play didn't change statistically, but the expectation changed, the pressure mounted, and the criticism mounted. That's where I think Dak Prescott's going to fall, in the pay, changing the expectation, heightening the criticism. All I'm saying.
The difference is the timetable. Like, when I came over to Minnesota, I was 29, 28 years old, almost 30 years old. So Dak Prescott, he's still a young man. He has time. Nobody's saying that, oh, my goodness, Dak Prescott's window of opportunity is about to close. No. Carson Wentz, however, you just mentioned it out of your own mouth. His career is on the line. Specifically as a starting quarterback in this league. If he does not perform, he could very well be sitting where we are, talking about all the history and all the remember this and remember that, that he just let fall in his lap because he mishandled a perfect situation now that he is in a situation that, man, can I get out of Philly? Can I go to a perfect, comfortable pillow blanket? And can I have the hot milk? And can you bring me some breakfast right now, too? Yes, Carson, we'll do all of this for you. But can you just perform? Ooh. We'll see.
Damn, Greg broke it down right there. Greg handled his business, so he got a new deal in Minnesota. Carson, you mishandled your business. That's why you're still working on the same deal that you disappointed on. That's the biggest difference in these two situations in expectations and the pressure that comes from it. Acho, you made a great point, but I got to push back on that great point. Because you say, oh, man, Greg, relive it. And I'm going to relive it, too. When I grew up broke, all the way to age 21, I was broke all the way. And now I'm not broke. Let's just say that. But there's a greater distance for me to fall. I get it. I'll show your point. But you know what? Even in failure, I'm going to be all right. Growing up in failure, boy, stop. What did Chris Rock say? It ain't rich people that need a prenup. It's poor people. Because guess what? When you're rich and you got to get half of my billion, I'm all right. I got $500 million. But if you only got $1,000 and somebody going to take half of that, good luck trying to live on just $500, homeboy. There's a big difference. Myles Garrett, let's talk about him. He would take his quarterback over any other in the division. Okay, all right. We'll tell you if Baker has removed all doubt that he's a franchise quarterback next. Speak for yourself. You know, he's still on that PR stuff, trying to get it back. Baker Mayfield finished last season with his fewest interceptions, and he won his first playoff game. But he still has doubters. Yep, I'm here. AFC North features Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Big Ben, but Myles Garrett said he would pick his quarterback over all of them. Sure. Garrett added, quote, I've never had any doubt in this guy. So, Acho, has Baker removed all doubt about being a franchise quarterback?
He hasn't removed all of it, but he should have removed most. So I was really thinking about it, and I realized this. The only reason we doubt Baker Mayfield is because of the early portion of his career.
You sure?
The first 2 years, not this last year.
You sure?
This last year is doubt removing. I mean, he had 30 touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions. I believe he was one of like 4 quarterbacks to do so. So it clearly wasn't this previous season. It was his previous seasons. So what if the first 2 years weren't necessarily Baker's fault? Now, why would I say that? Why would I submit that? Who was Baker Mayfield's coach as soon as he walked into the league? It was Hugh Jackson. That same Hugh Jackson, it was 1-31 the previous 2 seasons. Okay, Hugh Jackson steps away, and now you have Greg Williams, the same Greg Williams who made such an egregious call during the course of this previous season that we quite literally thought he was throwing the game. Then who now takes over? A guy by the name of Freddie Kitchens. Freddie Kitchens, who was never an NFL coach prior, but more importantly, didn't even have a full season as an offensive coordinator. He takes over to be not an OC for Baker, but the head coach for Baker in Baker's first 2 years. So you're telling me Baker Mayfield now in his first 3 years has 4 head coaches. Baker Mayfield is being viewed negatively, not because anything that's necessarily Baker Mayfield's fault, but because he was thrown into a tumultuous situation and therefore struggled. But I actually think you got to give credit to a dude who steps into an organization where the head coach was 1-31 in the previous 2 seasons, and Baker Mayfield wins several games when he first took over as a starter. So Baker hasn't removed all doubt because we want to look at the entirety of his body of work. But if we don't blame Baker for his first season and instead blame the head coach, who was 1-31 the previous 2 seasons, if we don't blame Baker for a second season, but instead look at the head coach who had never been a head coach before and only been an offensive coordinator for half of a season during Baker's second season, maybe all we're left with is Baker's third season, 26 touchdowns in the regular season and 8 or 9 picks, if I am not mistaken. And then you realize, he's pretty close to removing any doubt that you might have left.
Oh, man, you just lost me as soon as you started off saying, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? Yeah, Baker Mayfield, you did that. What the hell, it ain't your fault. You put the jersey on, it said Mayfield on the back. It's the same jersey I see on all these commercials. So guess what? It is your fault. Good, bad, or ugly. Accept it. Damn, people hate the mirror. Get in front of it. You'll learn something about yourself. Here's my problem. You told me the first 2 years weren't his fault.
Yes, sir.
You sure you want to do that?
I do.
Okay. If you do that, you take away the first year where people were saying, good job, Baker Mayfield. Okay, the first year, to put it in perspective for you, compared to this great year you said he had last year in year 3, year 1, he had more touchdowns. Year 1, he had more yards per game. Year 1, he had a better completion percentage. What does that mean? Does that mean that Baker Mayfield, year 1, year 2, year 3 is Captain Inconsistent? Yes, he is. That's why I told you. I don't hate Baker Mayfield. I just don't like roller coasters in my quarterbacks. I'm not riding with you, big dog. Just tell me what's the proper, sustainable elevation, and let's have a smooth ride. So is Baker Mayfield year 3? You can say, yeah, but I'm like, damn, year 1 kind of looked fresh, too, under Hugh Jackson. And then you talking about all these coaches. When he picked one of them, Freddie Kitchens, hey, nobody told you to pick Freddie Kitchens. Oh, you can't even do your job correctly, but you over there trying to do the GM's job, the owner's job. Baker Mayfield, you drowned by the water you poured on yourself. It's just that simple, man. He has to be accountable to either year 3, which is not as good as year 1 in most categories, or just the fact that it has been an inconsistent ride because of all the coaches, and he still hasn't figured it out. If you haven't figured it out, guess what I can't remove? All doubt.
I like that.
Come
that
on,
sounds
dog.
like something you would hold on a sign. If you ain't figured it out, I can't remove all doubt. I like
2 for 1, 2 for 1, everybody.
I like that. But here's what I'll say. Can we look at the fact of what Baker Mayfield's overcome? 4 head coaches in 3 years. Let's look at some comps for that. Josh Rosen, he also had 4 head coaches in 3 seasons. Where is he at and what is he currently doing? I believe he's currently 3rd string on somebody's roster.
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf, he had 3 head coaches in his first 2 seasons. We all know what happened in his career. Great person in the strides he's taking now as an individual, but his career as an NFL quarterback, not so much. Joey Harrington, 3 head coaches in his first 4 seasons. Terrible statistical career as well. Now you have Baker Mayfield, 4 head coaches, 3 seasons. I just gave you comps. Josh Rosen faced the same type of tumultuous beginning, and we ain't heard from him. Baker Mayfield faced this tumultuous beginning, and look at him right now, 11-5. Browns made the playoffs for the first time since 2002. 11 wins for the first time since 94. Like, the Browns are out here making noise, even though Baker Mayfield has faced what other quarterbacks has faced and did not survive that. Baker was tied to negativity, and thus he performed negatively. That is all it is. That's all it is, Sal. My dog was tied to negativity, and therefore he performed negatively. But you remove the negativity, which we've now removed, and you see how he's performing. I should have removed all doubt, but again, the only reason I have a little ounce of doubt is because of those first 2 years collectively as a Browns organization. His first year statistically, individually was fine, but the team faltered the first 2 years. That's the only reason I have any doubt at all.
Man, your second take started off by saying, look what he had to overcome. You talking about his civil rights? What the hell he had to overcome? He's the first pick overall, and he just...
The Browns organization was terrible.
Oh, it was
1-31. 1-31.
Okay, yeah. He's a product of his environment. How about you just produce for your environment? Stop blaming your environment, because there are chances for you to produce. I digress. Are we talking about the same Baker Mayfield that I call Captain Inconsistent, that went 25 straight games without back-to-back 250-yard-plus games? Remember that emoji right there? That's what I see when I see that statistic. We're talking about the same Baker Mayfield who needs his running game to shine, the play-action king right here, because without the running game, who is Baker Mayfield? Is this the same Baker Mayfield that had the 4th fewest pass attempts because his own organization and head coach doesn't even trust him to throw the football? Yes, that is. Public Enemy said, can't trust him. No. But you keep doing what a lot of people keep doing. Let me take you back to my personal story growing up. Now, growing up, it was unfortunate you had to learn some subculture rules just to survive, let alone thrive. A couple of them were baseball hats and, fitted caps. You had to know what the team meant in L.A. for gang life. Like, it wasn't just put on a Red Sox hat with the big B and be like, yeah, I'm a Boston fan. Hey, cuz, you gonna get sweated with a Boston Red Sox hat. Speaking of that same hat. So you get on the bus, rapid transit system. We used to have the RTD out here. You know the RTD? Okay. You get on the bus. And you get on the bus, you got to think about the subculture. It ain't about just getting from point A to point B. It's making sure you get there and people can see you when you get there because you're still alive. So there's the bus driver sitting there looking at you as you get on. What's up, homeboy? And now, what you think the safest spot is? Right behind the bus driver. Because you're like, if I'm right here, they ain't going to sweat this dude. He works for the bus company. Oh, yes, they are. Because when they see you and the bus driver can't see behind them, bah! Hey, I see you. All right, so that happened to me at first, too. So then you start to say, okay, let me get a little distance. You start going back. Don't go too far back, especially past that second door. You ain't going to make it. That's how I got jacked for my hat. All right, so then I figured this out, Acho. Sit across from the bus driver, right here, and then when they come on looking at you like, all right, homie, they can't do nothing because this grown-ass man is right here driving this bus. And I'm like, yes. But guess who's driving the bus with Baker as he sits there safely across from the real drivers? Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and they ain't getting out of that spot. Baker Mayfield, every defender that comes on that bus looks at you like, hey, I see you by yourself. Baker Mayfield can't do this by himself. Sit there safely. Unless you're in London, then it flips around and you look like you're the driver. But that ain't America, bruh. Baker Mayfield is not the reason. He's not the catalyst. He's not the engine. He's not the driver. That's why I doubt homeboy. Can Dak lead Dallas to the Super Bowl next season? We'll tell you if the Cowboys are contenders next. Speak for yourself. Hey, Beck, you're going to have to get off the bus sometime, homie.
The Cowboys finished third in the NFC East last season, but some of their offseason moves have boosted expectations. We all know Dak Prescott, quarterback, signed a huge long-term deal. And on the other side, Dallas hired Dan Quinn as their defensive coordinator. The Cowboys' outlook for next year got Trent Dilfer's attention, as Dilfer tweeted. The Cowboys believe they'll be able to outscore anyone. QB-OC relationship, Dak Kellen Moore, going on 6 years. Best offseason hire in Dan Quinn. All roads lead to the Super Bowl. So that's your dog. Trent Quinn.
Yeah, I love it. I love Trent.
So let's talk about this. Are the Cowboys actually Super Bowl contenders like Trent Dilfer's alluding to?
Yes. Yes, you know this from being in the NFL. All you need is to get to the dance, and you have a chance. Yes. It kind of reminded me of my Venice Beach days when I was starting to get a little muscles poke out. Everywhere you went, as soon as you get there, you'd be like, man, it's hot. You got to take your shirt off even though it ain't that hot. You just want everybody to see your new muscles. We used to play the pencil game. Let me see if I can still do that. Nope. Okay, you used to play. Remember you walk around, the pencil still stuck there? Oh, man, I remember being there. But we used to play this game like, dog, as soon as you think she's cute, you'd be like, ooh, you got to go speak. Because right there, if you don't speak, you have a no. She's not knowing you. She's not going to give you her number, scratch pad. She's not giving you her number. But if you go over there, you got a chance for a yes. It's kind of like getting into the playoffs. It's a no until you get in there. But then you got a chance. It's not a guarantee she's going to say, but it's a chance. And that's the Dallas Cowboys. I remind you, last year, the Washington football team had a chance. And people were like, they didn't have a chance. Oh, one, they were in the playoffs. Two, they were only down 5 late in that game against the Super Bowl champion Tom Brady Buccaneers. Oh, now let's bring this back home to Dak. Why they got a chance? Man, they're going to win this division. One, they're the most talented team. But two, Dak Prescott owns the division. 19-6 against NFC East teams since he's been a starter. 3 of those losses came his first year, despite going 13-3. So guess what he is since then? 16-3 since 2017. Now, if you look at the road in front of him, it's the path of least resistance in the NFC versus the AFC. So all that adds up to what Trent Dilfer told you. You get to the dance, brother, Cowboys got a chance.
So stop encouraging these false narratives. Just because you get to the dance, you got a chance. There's several people in my DMs who ain't got a chance.
But they ain't got Dak. Better hope they ain't got that.
Now, look, the Cowboys have no chance at the Super Bowl because they aren't even top flight in the NFC. And if I'm being real, they aren't even unequivocally the best team in their division, because you know me, and I go above and beyond on this show. You my dog. I try to come well prepared because I know you're going to come well prepared.
Love it.
I looked at the entire NFC, and I said, where do the Cowboys rank? I'm going to give you 3 columns. Teams that are better than the Cowboys, teams the Cowboys are equal to, and teams that are worse than the Cowboys. Now, better than, you can digest the sale. We know the Bucs are better than the Cowboys. The Saints are better than the Cowboys. The Packers are better than the Cowboys. The Seahawks are better than the Cowboys. The Rams are better than the Cowboys. The 49ers with the quarterback, assuming Jimmy G doesn't get hurt, better than the Cowboys. Cardinals, better than the Cowboys. And Washington, who proved to be better than the Cowboys last year, I'm going to say is better than the Cowboys. Now, the Bears, Vikings, Giants, I think we can say they're equal. Cowboys play the Bears, Vikings, and Giants. It's a toss-up. Now, who's worse than the Cowboys? I'll give you 4 teams.
Go.
Panthers, Falcons, Lions, and my Eagles, letting y'all know I am not biased.
My dog.
So with all that being said, Sel, you got about 8 teams that we know are clearly better than the Cowboys. The only team, even if you're at home want to argue with me, you will say Washington ain't better. Great. Move Washington to the equal column. Cowboys fall somewhere around 8th or 9th best in the NFC. I ain't even start talking about them cats in the AFC yet. I ain't even start talking about them dudes. So, 1, fix your face. 2, they can't be Super Bowl contenders if they can't even be NFC Championship contenders, if they're still contending to win the NFC East.
Man, let me see that full screen up, and let me see. 6 feet, homie, 6 feet, cuz. I use my pen. Look at my wife. She gonna be happy. I'm using my pen, baby, to bring it over here. The hell is this list? What is this, EG?
Where's wrong?
Oh, I'm going to tell you wrong. Okay.
One blemish, one flaw.
Well, it's incomplete first, because you got to talk about how the Cowboys are going to win their division. Why are they going to win their division? Because they get to play against Philadelphia twice, the Giants twice, and Washington twice. I remind you, last year with Dak Prescott, their team averaged more points per game, more yards per game, more passing yards per game, and more yards per play.
That's 6 wins.
That's 6. Hold on. The damn division only has 7 wins, so we almost there just by playing in our division. That's part 1. Then we get to when you're in the playoffs. And the Cowboys, who are they going to face? Let's start at the top. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ain't messing with them, but guess what? Tampa Bay got to play somebody to get there. Green Bay Packers. Are you really scared of the Green Bay Packers and their glass ceiling? They keep hitting their heads. 13-3.
You should be scared of them.
Well, I'm not if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, because it seems like,
the Packers knocked the Cowboys out the last 2 years.
Hold on. One was a miraculous play, the best throw ever.
Performs miracles.
Yeah, he does, but he also performs in a losing fashion in the playoffs, 7-8 in his last 15. That's a losing record since the Super Bowl win. Aaron Rodgers is still amazing. I'm just saying he's been losing more than winning in the playoffs of late. And they ain't got no cap space. Let's see what they do this entire offseason. Okay, we talk about the Bucs. We talk about the Packers. Let's talk about the Rams. No, Matthew Stafford. Have you ever won a playoff game? No. Everybody. Okay, let's talk about the Saints. The Saints. Jameis Winston's the starting quarterback. And Taysom Hill. I'm laughing at Taysom, not Jameis. But Jameis, are you Jameis? Are you fixed? Last time I checked, Nipsey, homie. Last time I checked, this dude threw 30 interceptions.
Right.
Has he fixed it? I don't know. But if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not scared of that. I'm not done with you. Seattle Seahawks, that are 1-4 in their last 5 playoff games.
Beat the Cowboys.
Hold on, that was last year without Dak Prescott fully.
With Dak Prescott.
No, I'm talking about last.
The Rams beat the Cowboys.
He only played 5 games.
The Seahawks beat the Cowboys.
He only played
Everybody and their mama beat the Cowboys.
You think that Seattle is scaring somebody when they can't even finish their own season? Second half of the season. What had happened was, nosedive. I ain't scared of y'all, and you're 1-4 of the last 5 playoff games. So now what are we supposed to do? They got to play some other teams. 49ers, get healthy and we'll see. I trust in them if they're healthy. The Cardinals, I like the new version of them, but I got to see it all come together. All I'm saying is, who strikes fear, Acho?
Everybody.
Not a single soul.
Everybody.
Except Tampa Bay.
The Cowboys, at best, will more than likely end up a 4 seed. Can we agree at that? They'll win their division.
Home field.
Beautiful.
First round.
Ooh, I'm intimidated by the Chiefs.
Washington almost beat Tampa Bay with home
Cowboys
field.
will end up as a 4 seed, which means they're more than likely going to play somebody from the NFC West. The Seahawks, the Rams,
Smash.
the Niners, the Cardinals. They not beating none of them teams, maybe the Cardinals. Even if they a 4 seed, that's even worse. They going to end up playing one of those 3 or 4 teams more than likely. You got to find any sort of solace in that.
Okay, here's a solace. Don't try to go solace on me so you can sound sophisticated. All right, here we go. Solace. All right, the path for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win a Super Bowl, admit it. If we had went to Vegas, because you're a gambling man, I'm ready to hit the club, but I'm going to wait for my boy. No one would have said, you know what? They're going to go beat Washington and the Saints and Green Bay and smash.
That's real.
Nobody says
That's real. I'll give you that.
All I'm saying that to you for is that's where you have to be in mindset if you're the Dallas Cowboys. We ain't scared. Tampa Bay was 7-5, brother, and didn't lose another game. If I'm the Cowboys, I look at that 7-9 team from the year before that was 7-5 the next year that didn't lose another game and won it all. Go Cowboys. Tampa Bay, Brady mindset. Frank Reich thinks that Carson Wentz is the long-term answer in Indy. We'll tell you if we agree. That's next on Speak for Yourself. Don't be scared, man. Scared money don't make no money. Carson Wentz is a Colt now, but it could have gone in another direction. Frank Reich said their plan was to find their quarterback of the future in the draft till Wentz became available in a trade with Philly. Now Reich said, quote, there's no doubt we feel like Carson can be the long-term answer. So, Acho, is Carson Wentz the long-term answer for the Colts?
So I think he absolutely is, at least based on what dictates a long-term answer at quarterback nowadays, right? If I'm gauging a long-term answer at a situation, I want to know, what are you capable of?
Yeah.
What are you recently capable of, and how old are you? Because that'll dictate what you're capable of going forward. Carson Wentz is 28 years of age.
Yeah.
So we know that he is at least by age capable of really projecting going forward. But we know he's had some downwards, and he's potentially on his route to be upward as well. So I do think Carson Wentz is a long-term answer for the Colts because I know what Carson Wentz is capable of, and I also know he's still young enough to give us the juice if he still got it.
No, he's not the long-term answer, not yet. I don't even know he's the short-term answer, being real. This test is different. Like, this is going to be a different test. You underperformed on a contract, and it was a franchise contract, franchise quarterback contract. I can't say that word. You messed up $128 million worth of contract money and a situation and circumstances just because of underperformance. Woo! Like, I get the injuries, but underperformance, Carson Wentz? Nah. You know when I say answer, Acho, you know what I'm thinking? You remember back in school? Let's go back to school. You went to St. Mark's, is it? The private school, the best private school in Texas,
St. Mark's.
St. Mark's? Yes. You wore a uniform, I hope, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So nobody could tease you for them ugly clothes you be wearing up here when I see you walking around. Okay. You remember when you had different types of tests, and even just the type of test kind of gave you a different level of anxiety. Let's start off with the easiest type of test. True or false? You're sitting there like, even if I don't study, I'm 50-50 on this thing.
I got it.
So you say there's a chance, okay? But then your teacher gets smart. She's like, Acho, I don't know if he's that smart. I know he's smart, but let's see how smart he is. She hits you with that multiple choice. Now, multiple choice is not that difficult unless two things happen. One of the choices is all of the above, or one of the choices is none of the above. Then you're sitting there like, damn, this is supposed to be easy, but it's not. But then she's looking at Acho in this conversation. She's like, Carson, come here. I want you to take this test. And you're saying, what test is this? I don't see true, false. I don't see a TF. I don't see multiple choice. She's like, no, this is an essay.
Say short answer? I like them short answers.
Oh, no.
Partial credit.
You know what's the problem with that? There are more places she can criticize, more red ink everywhere, and more importantly, you have to be detailed. You can't just say, here's the answer. She wants to see your work. Carson Wentz, they're not going to just say, oh, you look good. We want to see your work. And here's the problem with Carson Wentz. Last time he tried to fully show his work, Nick Foles went out there and was like, you ain't cheating on me no more and getting these good grades because I'm the one that won the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts said, give me your test and your pencil pump. This is my class. So when has Carson Wentz finished the class, finished the test, and actually performed up to standard? That's the problem right now with this situation. You walk into an 11-win team situation. You walk into a team that was in the playoff game and almost won that playoff game. That's the minimum expected of Carson Wentz, something he has never done in his life. He's only played one quarter of January football, bruh. He better realize what's around him because these expectations are greater than he's expecting.
Here's what I realized this morning. The light bulb went off for me.
Okay.
It will now go off for you, America. You are welcome in advance. Can we assume, Sel, that Dak Prescott is a long-term answer for the Cowboys?
Yes.
Absolutely. But what is so interesting is since 2017, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott have played nearly the same amount of games. Dak has played 53. Carson has played 52. Carson is 28, 23-1. Dak Prescott's 29.
No.
Carson Wentz actually has a higher win percentage than Dak Prescott. Wait a second.
What?
They have the same number of interceptions. They've both thrown 36 since 2017. Carson Wentz, though, has 97 touchdowns to Dak's 83. Dak's completion percentage is 65.6%, and Carson Wentz's is 63%. I don't bug and boggle the stats. I tell you the truth. Since 2017, Carson Wentz and Dak Prescott nearly identical. One's a long-term answer. One, you're not given a chance.
Wow. No full screen. I couldn't digest that. I don't know what he just said. No.
Steve Kerr said last season was more enjoyable than the finals roster the year before. We'll tell you if he was throwing shade at that man, Kevin Durant. Next, speak for yourself.
Shade like you threw at Dak just bruh.
Now, Steve Kerr was angry yesterday after a Bay Area media member took comments from a recent podcast and posted that Kerr enjoyed last season with the 15-50 Golden State team more than Kevin Durant's final season with the Warriors. That prompted KD to tweet, quote, "Yo, this is hilarious." Kerr said the comment was taken out of context and he did not mention Durant by name. So, Sel, was Steve Kerr throwing that shade at KD?
No, he wasn't. Not direct shade. People got to recognize you can see shade in different forms, different reasons. Cloud cover. Yeah, okay. Obstruction of sight, like big-ass house next to you or something. Oh, man, this seems shady over here. But Steve Kerr wasn't directing this at Kevin Durant. One, you can't tell somebody how they feel in the first place. But more so than that, it's the fact that he was just talking about the experience. It was kind of taxing that year. Let the man speak his truth. No, it wasn't at you, KD.
My first year in college, my coach, defense coordinator, told me the fun is in winning. So it don't matter all the drama that Golden State was going through. The fact of the matter is when they did not win, that removed all the fun from it. Steve Kerr was just speaking his truth. We knew Draymond and KD got into it. Even when Steve Kerr lost, you have more fun. Speak your truth, Steve Kerr.
Yeah, they say there are two emotions from a championship, relief or joy. Y'all ain't even win. That's it for us. Fox Bet Live next.